Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 168. This show is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, the spookiness begins as we celebrate Festival of the Lost and journey into the Haunted Forest, talk about the patch and improvements with 2.0.4, and discuss our strategies for keeping up with all there is to do in Destiny 2. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT and, of course, CyborgSasquatch. Hello, my friend.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, dude. Going good. It's our usual recording night. It's been a busy week, and there's a ton of stuff going on in Destiny right now, so...
I'm really not sure if I've slept at all this week.
I'm telling you, I did like the classic... stayed up really late one night and then like tanked the next night. You know, that not balanced sleep pattern that happens sometimes. You know?
That happens.
Yeah. So, you know, there's that.
I'm right there with you. Well, good problems to have.
Yes, plenty to do.
Why don't we do a quick announcement before we get the show on the road here?
Yeah, dude, tell them. We're going to be on the radio, man.
That's right, man. So we're coming to Dash Radio. If you're not familiar with Dash Radio, you can go to dashradio.com. It is a free digital radio broadcasting platform. It's got almost 100, I think, stations that you can listen to, curated by DJs, radio personalities, musicians, and you name it. But there's a channel called Multiplayer that this show will be appearing on multiple times a week. So you're going to be able to hear us every week for our first airing Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, right on Reset. And then you can hear us again Wednesdays at 9 a.m., Thursdays at 10 p.m., Fridays 11 a.m., Saturdays 2 a.m., for you late, those
that's the one I'll listen to.
Vampires, yeah. While you're playing the game,
yeah.
Those are all Pacific times, and you'll get to hear the whole show in full every week at all those times, commercial free. There are no commercials on Dash Radio. The really cool thing that I think is awesome about Dash is you can get it pretty much anywhere. You can get it on an Android or iPhone. You can get it in your car if you have a Ford or Chevy vehicle. You can get it. I mean, there's like all kinds of places. I think they're partnered up with Amazon. You can put it as an app on your Alexa if you want to pop it up, in your kitchen or living room. So it's really accessible. Pretty cool service. So we're excited. This is a new frontier for Destiny Reset.
Very excited.
But we hope it'll bring more players, more fans of Destiny to listen to us two gentlemen talk about Destiny every week.
I know. So for some reason, they're still listening, Cyborg guy, for some reason. Yeah, dude, instead of just one initial download, now our voices are going to be like on a rotation multiple times a week.
God knows why. I don't.
What in the world?
Yep. Stranger things have happened, though. So if you're listening for the first time on Dash Radio, welcome to the Derp Fam.
Welcome.
Your new home. And we're going to talk Destiny. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to do the news. It's the news. It's the news about Destiny. This week at Bungie, we got spooky. Festival of the Lost has begun. Engram lanterns have been hung. Purple candles are lit.
So spooky.
So spooky. It's funny because we got some new music, but we still have some of the original Festival of the Lost tracks in rotation since the first one, and it cracks me up when I'm standing there in the tower, like in my menu, and I just hear in the background like, ah! Screams in the background and stuff.
I heard that as well.
Cracks me up, man. So Festival of the Lost is run until November 6th. We've also got Lord Saladin in the tower with Iron Banner this week. We've got double Valor, triple Valor over the weekend, you name it. By the time you hear this is all said and done, but when we're talking, it's still live.
Yeah.
Hey, this is really cool. They have provided some, what are these, like templates for jack-o'-lantern carving.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I really want to do one of these. I want to do a Gambit one, man.
I know, what great timing,
tricorn.
Obviously. Yeah. There's some good ones in there. I think we might have to attempt one as well in our household.
Yeah, there's probably over a dozen of these that you can download. Here you go. 14 Destiny 2 themed pumpkin stencils.
The Crucible one looks pretty legit.
Yeah.
Look at that Gambit
cool
one.
ones.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes.
That'd be kind of difficult.
There's that spider. The spider one, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Share your results with Bungie on Twitter and Instagram. They'll share a few of their favorites. And you don't get anything special besides recognition. Hopefully that's good enough for you.
Community friend game.
Yep. Next up, they're talking about the Rockstar Energy Riots in-game competition. There's a link in the TWAB if you want to go check that out. There's weekly challenges in the Crucible, Gambit, and Strikes. It says you can earn points by completing matches, defeating Guardians, or getting precision kills. The top 4 players from the qualifier round will be challenged in the ways of old, squaring off at Bungie for prizes. Some pretty cool original stuff in here. And all of this is unique.
Yeah. Yeah, and this whole competition it's basically, I was watching some stuff on it and listening to some more, and you just basically play. There's a few different weeks, Crucible, Strikes, and Gambit, and you get points for completing matches, points for killing Guardians. It's kind of one of those, how much time can you put in things. So
for sure.
Yeah, us full-time Guardians working that 40-hour-a-week job. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull this off.
I'm definitely behind because it's already in week 2, but you can definitely go check it out. They've got some cool stuff up for grabs this week. Vertigear gaming chair. There's Astra headset, some Scuff controllers, a Bungie store gift card, some Rockstar energy drinks, a whole bunch of stuff. Some of the grand prizes include what is this called? A slingshot roadster?
Yeah, slingshot.
Which is
Looks
like those trikes, like the 3-wheeled motorcycle
always call
thing.
it a Batmobile. Batman car is what we call it.
And it's Forsaken themed, or, like it's got the Scorn logo on it. It's pretty cool.
It is cool, yeah. Right over the back of it. Looks good.
Yep. So go to destiny2.rockstarenergy.com. You can sign up. Apparently there's also an exclusive emblem that you can pick up. I'm not sure if you just have to participate or what, but there's that. And I know you folks like emblems. Guardians are just obsessed with emblems, man. It's crazy. Next up, they talked a little bit about Destiny player support and scheduling. If you want to be participating in Festival of the Lost, they reminded folks of some prerequisites. You have to have completed the Red War campaign and unlocked the tower, and you have to complete an introductory quest to access the Haunted Forest. The Festival of the Lost bounties offered by Amanda Holiday refresh every day at 5 p.m. Pacific instead of at the normal daily reset. So go pick those up, early, or what I would do if you didn't do it that day, go pick them up before you get off and then pick the new ones up after 5 p.m. and do them all,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They've got some bug fixes. Of course, we had update 2.0.4 this week. We'll go over some of those patch notes shortly here. But they were able to solve several known issues that Destiny player support was tracking. We'll talk about some of that. And we've got some new bugs on the horizon. They're looking at some really weird stuff too.
Never-ending cycle.
Yep, scopes appearing opaque when ADS. Does that basically mean like you can't see through it?
That is a weird one.
Yeah, opaque, not able to be seen through. That's what I was trying to double check what that meant. There's something funky going on with Polaris Lance. The exotic perk is broken, which definitely makes it hard to progress on the exotic catalyst if you're working on that. So they're tracking that. Did you hear about this dreadnought bug?
Yes. Yeah.
This was big thing
weird.
on Reddit last week.
Mm-hmm. It was apparently specific to Titan. Yeah, there was a couple of different things where they were loading in and stuff. They could see you either were like flying in the ring of Saturn like you were back in D1 days, or you actually would. There was another one where they would fly into the planet with the music as well.
The cinematic, yeah.
Yeah, so...
it's so funny, even the music was in there. Dun, dun, dun,
yeah,
dun,
which,
dun,
man, that
dun.
took me back because I watched a clip of that.
Yeah.
It
makes
but
you wanna boot
DMG
up
tweeted
D1.
out and said, there's nothing here, basically. There's no
Nothing
ARG
here,
or
nothing
anything like
here.
that. Which, what he said, though, I kind of read it a couple times, like, it didn't really mean... He basically said it's a bug and there's no ARG or anything, specific, but it still doesn't mean it's not for content later on down the road.
I think it was pretty clear.
I don't know, man. Like, if you go back and read it.
Nothing that's in the game now.
Now is what I mean. Like,
of course, I think I think it's almost certain that we're going to go back there at some point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think he was trying to make clear, like,
there's
hey,
nothing
yeah,
right
you're
now.
not going on a special quest to the Dreadnought anytime soon. You know?
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Yeah, like, not basically he said, like you said, right now there's nothing.
Yeah.
But I think, in the future, very possible. Who knows?
So if you want to check this out, if it's still working by the time this airs, you can get it to work. You go into Titan if it's up. I don't know if you can do it this week because I don't think a heroic adventure will pop up. But if you went into an heroic adventure on Titan and then someone else joined you while you were in that activity, they would fly and you'd be in warp space for a while. And then when you approached, like, the landing cinematic or whatever, the approach cinematic, it would be of the Dreadnought approach. And then you would just load up in the Titan activity.
Crazy.
Kind of
cool.
cool.
And I think even one of the one where you're flying like in the ring of Saturn with the debris and stuff, it
maybe if you're already on Titan.
It was like not finished either. It was like there was some squared off edges on the planet and stuff. So
that's funny.
Totally not meant to be there.
There's a whole different thing that was data mined. Not even data mined. It was found in assets in the game on PC.
Mm-hmm. I think I know.
I don't want to spoil it, though. I'm not going to say what it is.
Audio files?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really curious about something that might be coming up in the next couple weeks,
this is where we draw the line, Guardians.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last week. These are the kind of things we do kind of not cover,
but
because
it's
they don't
really interesting. And like, if it happens, it's true. Like I'm going to be totally shocked and impressed that they went like that far with it. You know what I mean? Like they took that effort to do this. But anyways, there's a thing that people were able to pull out some audio, and it sounds like we're going to be doing a certain thing soon, going to a place.
Yep.
That's all I'll say.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we had the Edge Transit of the week. This is where we pick our favorite Edge Transits from the Edge Transit community. Here are this week's Edge Transits. I love how hard they're leaning into the meme-ness of Edge Transit in the TWABs.
Yeah, I think DMG even had in one of his tweets about the hotfix. Like,
this one was really funny though. So somebody recreated the intro cinematic Destiny 2. And literally everything says just Edge Transit, like Bungie logo, Edge Transit, Destiny, Forsaken.
Even
Edge
the
Transit.
logo like has the dot for the eye.
They did the lettering and everything.
for the eye in transit. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. It's really funny. So, and then there's like just a whole bunch of Edge transit clips and stuff. It's great.
I enjoyed it. Yes. I haven't watched the others yet, actually, but I did watch that one.
The other one's funny. It's somebody put on a chicken mask for some of the Forsaken cinematics, and it's pretty funny. Yeah, so go check out Movie of the Week for some hilarious videos. DimG04, one of the community managers, they put a little plug here. He is on DCP podcast this week, so I'm sure that'll be worth checking out. Another shout out as well to one of our Destiny podcast cousins. You can go check out Guardian Radio. They had some of the lead designers of Gambit on this week for a really good interview. If you haven't caught that, I would definitely go check it out if you're interested in like how Gambit came about and how they designed it. And it was really, really fascinating. They talked a lot about it and I loved it. So go check that out. Just a little plug for the competition there, but hey, it's good content.
Hey,
it's all's fair.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about the patch notes, man?
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's a lot more here than I remember this week in this patch. I read through it.
Highlights here.
Yeah, I read through it as soon as we got it, but we pulled it up a minute ago, and I'm like, wait, there is more than I remember. Of course, one of the big ones that stood out right away was for the Warlock, the White Nail Whisper perk, right?
Yeah, White Nail was not working well in Healing Rifts and Well of Radiance.
Yeah.
So they have fixed that. And it's funny because it says, note, this introduced a bug where White Nail may occasionally activate after 2 hits.
Now, like more often, which is fine.
So they fixed it and made it unintentionally better. So for a limited time only, you can get a 2-hit proc White Nail.
Yeah, another one that too, the Lucky Pants one. Did you? There were some builds people were doing out there because Lucky Pants will reload. I guess your I'm trying to remember exactly if it's I'm trying to remember what the perk is on Lucky Pants. Basically, what was happening is now it will no longer reload hand cannons that are not stowed. So it was supposed to just reload your hand cannon that you had stowed, and it was doing both. So that was a pretty brutal.
So like
bug
while it was
of a build,
equipped and you were using it, it would reload.
Yes,
your
it
gun?
would throw up. Yep, it would throw a bullet right back. Yeah, so,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is no longer a thing.
Couple other notable Warlock ones. This one was super trolly. You could use handheld Supernova to kill your friends on your team. You could use friendly fire. This happened to me, strangely enough, in a Gambit match before we were loading in. The Warlock, like I'm just standing there and he like looks over and just fries everybody. And then everybody transmatted and we're just sitting there dead in the room. Like, what did you do? Why is this happening? So they fixed that. There was another thing with Well of Radiance and the new Phoenix Protocol exotic chest armor. Now, don't get me wrong. I know only like 5 people have Forsaken exotics. So this was not as common. But what could happen is it would cause your weapons to not render and you wouldn't be able to like see your weapons, see some of your abilities, like different stuff. So they fixed that. And then this was a really interesting one. So Chaos Reach is the new Warlock arc super, which is where you have like the big arc beam. And what people had noticed was on PC, it was doing a lot more damage and it was attributed to a higher frame rate. And so people were assuming, yeah, like having a higher frame rate makes it broken because it's overpowered because it's tied to your frame rate. And it seems like the actual problem was it was doing appropriate damage on PC and it was doing less damage at lower frame rates on console. So they have fixed that, and as a result, they say players may now notice an increase in total damage output. So if you're playing on console, Chaos Reach may be doing a lot more damage now. I need to test this. It was a pretty effective super before that. I'm very interested to see what it'll do now. So
yeah, that was definitely a very interesting one. There's the random bugs that occur between platforms.
I continue to be fascinated by the types of bugs that come up in this game, and what, we never know exactly what causes it, but it's just like the weirdest stuff, man.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And sometimes we don't even know it's a thing until they throw it in the patch notes. How they manage it, dude, is just baffling to me.
Yeah. Another one they fixed is ammo scavenger perks were not giving certain weapons as much ammo as intended. So you may see, and they don't say which, but you may see more ammo overall if you're running scavenger perks for certain weapons.
Which is important for my Crucible loadouts.
Yeah.
Get more for that brick.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, really, almost any activity makes a difference. Gambit, it definitely could make a difference.
Immediately think about my shotgun.
Yeah. Shotguns and power weapons. Over in the weapons, we have a buff to scout rifles.
Yes, we knew that was coming.
They're feeling good. Now, it's important to note, they don't list it in here. It's about a 14 to 15% increase to both critical and non-critical hits. But they're still not quite up to the damage you could get from a scout in Warmind, but they're close.
Okay.
They're pretty close, since you're not having to shoot a red bar 8 times to kill it. So it's worth possibly popping out some of those scouts again, and trying them out. Now, what I'm not sure about is if scouts were having the same problem in PvP, or if this was just a PvE thing.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that. I kind of assumed it was just PvE.
I thought so too, but
sure.
They just say against combatants, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to look into that.
There's the other one on here is the buff aim assist on linear fusions. Of course, they put in parentheses, not including sleeper, because apparently they, I think they clarified that either that wasn't where it was supposed to be, or it had gotten reduced at some point. They wanted to bring them back up in line.
Okay.
With what they thought they should be. Of course, not sleeper. Sleeper got a hit.
They reduced aim assist on sleeper.
Yes.
Which I have tested. First Gambit match I went in, I popped it on. I'm like, all right, I'm going to see how this does. And it's definitely less sticky at range. It's not sticky at all at range, honestly. And it's a lot more difficult to hit people in motion. Mm-hmm. So if you can get the drop and you're kind of being sneaky and people are not wise enough to move around and they're kind of, taking a stop or a break, or they're just standing there, you can punch them pretty easy. Yeah. Because you just need a body shot. But
I think I've seen videos go up where people already had thought to be strong before, but everybody was just using sleeper, that Queen Breaker is now coming to the front.
Yeah, so then I started putting Queen Breaker on, and it's pretty good. I mean, you've got to get criticals though. Mm-hmm. So, but the aim assist on Queen's Breaker is pretty high, and then we have a buff to it with this patch, and so it feels really good. So. And you get a lot of ammo for it too. So, this one here, a lot of people have been talking about decreased fighting lion damage to be brought in line with other breach load grenade launchers. So, fighting lion, a little bit of a nerf.
They say everybody gets one with Festival of the Lost, and then they nerf it a little bit.
Yeah, what did you think about that, man? You just got a free fighting lion with a catalyst.
Right, yeah. See, because initially I had seen some people say that they didn't think the catalyst would drop for everyone, and like you would get it at some point in Festival, but not necessarily on that initial turn into Amanda. And I'm like, well, I think there would be quite a bit of salt if that was RNG based. So come to find out, of course, you're guaranteed to get it right. You get the exotic and the catalyst immediated. Yeah, that's interesting, man. And you talk about some bounties to turn in. I was actually setting on my strategy now, which I'm sure is many Guardians, is once I hit certain milestones with like of course the clan and Ikora and stuff, I just start setting on bounties for the next reset. And I had like 18 to turn in, so I waited until I got to that fighting lion catalyst part where I think it's like 160 or so that you have to turn in bounties to complete that portion of the catalyst.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have to have it equipped though. I don't know if it can just be on your character, but I'm probably not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna throw it on when I turn in bounties.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, I guess I need to do that.
Yeah, some of those, and it's like the other thing is the catalyst on it. I've been trying to keep an eye on what some of the well, I usually focus on PvP, but some of the PvP Guardians think, and I mean it grants you like, what is it, accuracy and it grants your kinetic weapon handling and accuracy, I think. And it's only for a couple of seconds. So, it's like, man, that's a lot of grindage.
Work with, how that build runs, which is trying to finish somebody else, right?
Right, exactly.
Or finish somebody off.
Exactly. Yeah, which, you know what? I mean, I went on a kick with Flash and Thunder there for a while, and it is a blast. I mean, it is definitely a play style. But that's a lot of work on a catalyst if that's not your exact play style or something you want to spend some time doing. So,
yeah.
Anyways, that was cool though. I'll take another exotic and a catalyst. I can't remember what power it dropped though. Was it
for me? I mean, it was. I'm at 600. It dropped to 600.
Did it really? Okay, so it must have dropped right at for me then. I mean, that works. Yeah. That reminds me too. I did learn today. Apparently, the random tangent here. The horror. What is the name of the auto rifle you get in Festival? Horror something, right? Or maybe I'm making that up. I want to say
horror's least, but that's not it. It's a play on what the original gun is.
Well, they advertise you get it at 600. Yeah, is it Horror Story? But you can't infuse it into anything like we had.
Right.
What was that we had that with previously?
It was the 400 weapons.
Oh, that's right.
To drop from the raids.
I thought this was a weird decision, man. Like, to me, if you want to let people, I mean, if you're giving someone 600 power, I mean, don't force them to keep that thing in their inventory. Just let them infuse it into something else.
Well, you don't have to have it in your inventory. Once you have it in your possession, you're going to have the gear check across your account.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it makes sense because you don't want people to farm it to push power. It's just like, yeah, here's a free gun,
but you only get one, gun. Right? Or can you buy multiple at 600?
I don't know. Maybe you could do that with each character. Maybe you could. I don't know. I'm just.
It kind of plays into that thing. Like, it seems like there's obviously some other things at play here. If you did let them infuse it, then you got to put things into place so that they can't farm it and they can't just infuse all kinds of stuff. So it's easier just to not let us infuse it into other things. But at the same time, sometimes I look at that like putting a block on how we can progress and play in the game. Like, if we don't want the thing and we're grinding for the power, just let us infuse it into something. But obviously there's other things at play in the decision here.
I get it.
Anyways, moving back to the patch notes.
Yeah, one last notable thing. There's a whole bunch of like small tweaks on weapons and different bugs, but the biggest and the funniest one, fixed an issue where 1,000 voices would sometimes speak at the volume of 100,000 voices.
We were just talking about that last week.
It cracks me up. So they fixed that audio glitch with the 1,000 voices exotic fusion, and then a few other different things. Go check these out if you want some details.
Yeah.
They fixed the problem with Gambit clan engrams, which for several weeks, we have not gotten Gambit Clan Engrams, so those should be available from Soraya Hawthorne again.
Which I can't remember. Maybe I've just mentioned to my fire team. Obviously, they're aware that Clan Engrams are dropping at power level again.
That's intended, yeah. Those are supposed to be a powerful drop.
Which is interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense with the grind that we have now and the progression and all the opportunities we have each week. It kind of works now.
Yeah. I think it's cool. Rather than them have, like, you know, the activities.
Right. Exactly.
Stuff in it. You know, it's basically like a completion award, you know, participation trophy, but it gives everybody something powerful. And I think it's not a perfect, but it's a much better way for clans to have an impact on all the individual players.
That's what I was going to say. You feel like you're contributing and helping your clan out by completing that stuff, giving them some powerful Engrams.
And you're getting a benefit, like a tangible benefit if you're in a clan and your clan is doing that stuff, because you can get, I think 5 or 6, depending on what you do. You can get Gambit, Crucible. What am I missing here? Raid. And there's a fourth one, and then there's one that you can get if you do what is the guided games. I think there's 2 different ones for guided games. If you do a raid and a nightfall, those will drop for your clan too, I think. I'm not 100% sure because not a lot of people do that stuff, but
yeah, I mean,
so there's a whole
the 4
bunch.
main ones.
Yeah,
which you said: Crucible, Nightfall, Raid, and Gambit.
Those Nightfall. That's what I'm.
Yeah, those are the nodes on our menu. Yep.
So 4 powerful drops is, you know, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Now it's account wide. Keep that in mind. You can't get those on each character. So if you're selective about, you know, if you're running multiple characters, I usually wait to pick those up. Like when I was trying to power up, I would pick those up last. To kind of like have some extra drops to even out gear that I needed. And that's worked out really well for me. Like last reset, I got the last piece I needed to hit 600 on my Warlock from that. And so,
nice.
You know, it's kind of like, here's some extra drops that I can kind of bank till the end of the week and hope that I get what I need.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Some other stuff for Gambit. They've fixed some issues, matchmaking in Gambit taking longer than intended, resulting in players being removed from the match. Gambit quitter penalties have been re-enabled. And then some other things. Tell us about some of this Crucible changes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we got the Iron Banner changes to the bounties and things like that. You guys are already well aware of that, playing Iron Banner as you're listening to this, I guess, last reset. Yeah. There were some random ones in here again, like one of these general ones, capture zone waypoints no longer pulse when progress state changes. These are subtle things. That's the power play in Iron Banner specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, you know...
changes to metals. And
changes to metals, audio cues and countdown. There's just so many little things, man, that... Yeah. You're not even aware of. There's a couple things that I noticed and other people have pointed out this week that didn't make it in the patch notes, but like some minor changes. A couple of them were, did you notice that they changed either the font or the font size on perks on weapons? Like if you go to your character screen and you're previewing an item, the text is smaller, and I almost want to say the font is even different. And then I always draw a blank for what the actual like term for this is, but when you pull your ghost up. Yes, I know what you're going to say, dude.
Yeah, so in Crucible, your kill feed, or it's not your kill feed, your
player
roster
list. Yeah, your roster.
Yeah, the roster looks different.
Yeah, it's in the middle right instead of the lower right.
Yeah.
I asked my fire team about that.
A players I play with are like, yeah, I kind of don't like it. I don't know.
I know it's weird because you're so used to looking at the bottom right, but then it kind of
Right.
makes sense. There's middle right. There's not really a lot going on there. Behind it, I actually noticed that like some of the feed pops up there. But then if you look a little closer, it kind of, there's like a little left bar of that menu that continues to go down even further. So then it made me wonder, because I think they said today or yesterday that the tracking 3.
Yeah, that's working now. You can track
is it
3
working?
challenges. Yep.
Okay, so that made me wonder if, I was thinking for some reason they tweeted out that didn't make it into this patch.
I'm wondering
did they
if
move
in
it?
Crucible, if you can use your D-pad to cycle between the roster and your tracked stuff,
Maybe, yeah. Obviously, is a possibility of why they moved it. It is taking me some getting used to in Crucible, though. I agree with your friend, because I've looked to the bottom right.
Different. Hard,
So,
So that was a couple of things. I think somebody else mentioned too, they like kind of reconfigured the map on maybe Nessus or something that like recenters it or something, like just weird stuff. Sometimes stuff like that kind of pops in, and it's things that they like just forget to get into the patch notes, or just things that they worked on and just didn't get documented well. So sometimes you catch stuff like that. Some things with items and economy. A notable one here is they raised the low end of powerful gear, which slightly increases the average power upgrade per powerful drop.
Yes.
So what that means is if you play enough, you're kind of aware there's the power level that you might get, say, blues, and then just like purples that you might pick up just off enemies. And those are usually like, around 20 below your power level or somewhere around there. And they've raised that low end up, and apparently that is increasing your average number of what a powerful drop would be for you. Mm-hmm. So that's good news if you're working on powering up still.
Very much, yeah.
Also fixed a problem where a powerful drop could drop at the same power level or below. If you've ever had that, that's really disappointing to have happen.
Yeah, we talked about that. That was an episode or two ago.
Yeah.
That could happen. They also, for you raiders out there, I saw they increased the drop rates of the Last Wish Ghost and Sparrow.
Yep. I have not seen those, but they are there. They've added some heavy drops to accompany Edge Transit through Fire and Flood. I got that actually yesterday. It's a little grenade launcher that's kind of cool. Yeah. Zenobia D and Crooked Fang -4FR, which is really good.
I actually got the
linear fusion
Crooked Fang. In this resets play session. I was watching something. I don't remember. I think I might have pulled up someone's stream randomly, just in the Destiny directory, and they got kind of frustrated because Edge Transit dropped after the patch, and I'm like, it is still in the loot pool. You just had some even worse RNG that you didn't get one of the new ones.
Yeah,
it's like we're at this point we've seen enough Edge Transits, so which it isn't bad, right? I still.
It's a good gun.
Yeah, I haven't used grenade launchers enough at this point into Forsaken. I don't even, honestly, of all the roles I know that I'm looking for on certain types of guns, I don't even know what I would want on a grenade launcher. They have
a respectable power in PvE. Mm-hmm. They actually play really well on stuff with Scorn, because there's so many ads usually with Scorn, and they're so aggressive. And they pack a pretty good punch on, orange and yellow bars. Like they do significant damage. I prefer them sometimes to rockets because you can get the rounds off a lot quicker, right?
Right.
So they have a good place. I think they're just underutilized. They changed some things with triumphs. They've changed some things with collections, especially with flare items. They've added some emblem variants to collections for Forsaken.
Oh, dude, it reminds me. Listener gave me a pro tip when we mentioned episode or two ago about having a mark as all seen or read option. You can, I don't know if you saw this back and forth I had on Twitter. Sorry, Guardian, I could have looked it up beforehand. I didn't think I was going to bring it up, I guess. Shout out to you, Guardian. You can actually go to your recently acquired, and now that we're like well into Forsaken, you're not finding as much new stuff. So you can just hover over your recently acquired, and it will clear out the little icons telling you to go into each catalog.
Oh, I gotcha.
I didn't even think about
those
that.
Plus signs go away.
Yeah. I'm almost certain who told me this is a Dirt fan member. I apologize. I'm just blanking right now, but thank you so much, because I've been doing that now. You can just hover over those like 5 or 6 things, and it'll get rid of the little come look at me icons in each catalog.
Gotcha.
Moving on. That's a little pro tip there.
Okay, cool. Some changes to bounties, and then just some general stuff. Just all kinds of various stuff, just fixing different problems. Nothing crazy notable, just little bitty things. One of these is interesting. It says Bakken the Relentless can now be summoned in the Devalian Mists. Like, who is that? I don't know who that is. What does he do? So that is the notes for this week. We've got another patch coming in, I think, due the 30th.
Yeah, I think 30th.
Week from when you're hearing this show at the least, with some more changes and improvements to look forward to. I know some things I'm very specifically looking forward to, so we will see there. What else do we have in the news this week? They put up a little blog post about visual effects.
Yeah, dude, this is super neat. Team. Did you check this out?
Yeah, man, it's really cool.
Yeah, you could go. At first, I thought it was just like the pictures that were in the blog, but you can go to each of these devs' portfolios. Yeah, these artists' portfolios, and actually watch clips of what they have done. Like, for example, the first one by Irving Zhang, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can like that one was Supers. This Guardian had worked on. It's so cool, man, because so many times we just jump in and play and we do this or that, and we know the game looks great, but to stop and just look at it for a second, sometimes we have to go back and watch clips and stuff. But to just watch a looped section of the different supers and the effects trickling off of hammers and things like that, it's super cool, man. Like, really cool.
Yeah. They make this stuff look really good in the game, and a lot of the time when you're in the action, you can't admire it too much. But we're talking about, these are the different artists that work on specifically like visual effects. So just all the sparkly, glowy superpowers and effects and different things that are happening in the game, which are really cool. So you can go check out this blog post if you go to Bungie.net, and they've got, I think, like 4 different design portfolios you can go check out.
What I always loved, man, was when the community would make the slow motion montages, because that's, you can really see and appreciate how beautiful this game is and the work these designers put into it, because it is just unbelievable how good it looks, especially running at about half speed.
Right.
Those are always fun. Fusions are always the best to watch. I think that was probably back in D1 days. I don't know if I've seen, I'm sure they're out there, but yeah, I don't know if I've seen too many in D2 so far. For good times.
Yeah, and fusions work differently in D2 because they're hit scan now, I think.
Yeah.
Where there used to be a bolt, like an actual bolt that would travel. I think that caused them a lot of problems. I think they changed that.
Let's move past this.
Yeah. But that's all the news this week. You've got your Destiny news fix. One other thing, because I always keep you apprised with Destiny merch. It's a really random item, but over on the Bungie store, there's a sale on select items to celebrate Festival of the Lost, and they've got a couple cool things on sale. They got, if you never picked it up, they have that foam hunter knife replica on sale. I might actually pick that up. $48. And some other cool stuff. But they actually added a new item this week, which is Destiny 2 sheet music. So you can buy a score or score in parts or just different stuff to different songs from the Destiny 2 soundtrack. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So if you're a musician and you'd like to learn some of the different parts, go check these out. They are cool. Certainly out of my price range as someone who's not going to use these as intended, so I won't be buying any of them.
You can just frame them.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Cool little item they've done there.
Yeah. I guess in comparison to other weeks, it's kind of a light news week, but if you go way
there's a
back...
lot to do this week, but there's not as much news this week.
Yeah, right? If you went way back in some of our episodes, this might still be considered a heavy news week, but these days, this is light. But yeah, there's so much to do this reset. We'll get into that here pretty quick.
No doubt. Well, real quick, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor. We are partnered with Blue Microphones, and we use Blue Microphone products, microphones, headphones, boom stands, pretty much the whole package to record and listen to our audio. And we have used many of their different mics in the past. The most popular mic that they have is the Blue Yeti. It's probably the internet's most popular and top selling microphone ever. And then we used
for quite a while.
Yeah, we used those for a long time. They gave us something a little nicer after they saw that we were going to stick around. And then we've been using for the whole years now, we've been using their Lola headphones that sound awesome and they're really comfortable. And so we want to give a shout out to them and just talk about their products real quick and tell you that you can go to bluemic.com, and for our listeners only, you can save 20% on most of their products. Just use the product code Destiny Reset on their store.
Yeah, so 20%, guys. 20%.
Yeah, it's a pretty good discount. So if you're in the market for a new microphone, some headphones, boom stand, pop filter, you name it, go and buy the store, bluemic.com.
All their stuff is fantastic, but man, the boom stand is great. And also, it's worth mentioning, there's, if you haven't looked at their stuff before, many of you probably have seen several things, but they do have a new mic, the Nano, which we
really
got
good,
to check out, and we kind of sent some info out on that. But they've got price points for anything you're looking for, because I think the Nano now is like $99. So if you're not looking to go full-fledged into a Yeti, you can get the Yeti Nano. So anyways, just to throw it out there, guys, there's plenty of price points depending on what you're looking for and how much you want to invest into it.
Yep. And then finally, for our listeners, we're going to give something away this month from Blue Mic. We actually give you an option. You can pick your choice. If you win, you can pick up a Blue Yeti. I think you can pick a Blue Nano now too. Or you could pick a set of the Blue Lolas headphones. So if you would like an opportunity to win one of those products, we're going to ask you to go to our Twitter this week, at Destiny Reset on Twitter, twitter.com/Destiny Reset. We'll have a tweet up. We'll pin it right to the top. Just follow us and retweet, and you'll be entered to win. And we'll give that away probably next episode, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like a plan.
There you go. Thank you, Blue Mike, for sending that to one lucky winner. Well, Arrow, it's about that time.
We haven't had a pause in a while. I asked you last week, so I figured I'd hold out.
Had to do that pregnant pause. How was your reset?
My reset's been great, dude. I jumped right in. I'm always excited on those Tuesday resets, just in general, to start the power grind in again. But of course, we had a festival drop this week, and dude, it's been let me just tell you, the last week or two has been a spreadsheet creating, to-do list adjusting extravaganza for me. Like it is. I think I tweeted out, it's like full force spreadsheet just zone for me now, which I love, because I mean I wasn't really doing that in the first year of D2, and I used to do it back in the day. I think I've mentioned before, I had a spreadsheet for my reset and everything, and Dude, I had to, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do when I log in this week. Like, what am I going to do first? I got to prioritize some of this stuff and, certain things are for one reset, several, one thing's for multiple resets. So I've actually adjusted it. I wanted to jump into festival right away. And, I did the initial quest, did the bounties, the first set of daily bounties. And jumped into the haunted forest, which we'll talk about that a little bit here shortly, I'm sure. And dude, what are they called? Souls? Is that what they're called? The currency now?
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Dude, 1 per bounty. I want like all but 3 of the masks, and I for just collection reasons, I guess, if I can get them. And then of course I'll pick up the auto as well. But dude, I've done a full set of the bounties. I'm hoping to get the weekly because that's a big one. That's the 40, I think, that you get there, 30 or 40. It's not so much a grind, I guess, but I think when I turn in those bounties and I only get 1, it's just like, oh man, that is not very much of the currency. But I'm enjoying the event overall. I kind of thought about you a little bit. Last week you had mentioned you weren't like overly thrilled about the masks again. And I kind of, it said that I do enjoy them. I like them. I think they're neat. But at the same time, with in particular to this festival, we've done that before. They are neat. I kind of saw where you were coming from as I played a little bit. Now they do give us a what do you want to call it? A stat or a perk that you can put in place for each mask, right?
I think that's the coolest way that they've actually made these things relevant is you get these perks on the masks, you get to pick one, and then from what I understand, because I haven't spent a ton of time in there, you continue to unlock more perks on them. And I think you can unlock maybe up to 3.
There's like a tree of perks.
Yeah, as you play.
Okay.
I think when you kill the yellow bar bosses, I don't remember their names, I think, like I was looking at mine, I think you had to kill 10 to open the next thing. Okay. But it makes them really meaningful.
There's a point to them.
Activity, yeah. So you put them on, it's kind of funny and it's festive, but they have interesting, useful perks. And I think that is, for me, like the way that they've done this event is so far improved and they put so much more work into it in a way that like really makes me appreciate the work and the time they put into making it something fun and something unique to do. Yeah. That's not just about cosmetic stuff. Right.
Yeah. I kind of thought about that as well, this reset. Like, what do we want Festival of the Lost to be? And really, it's not a huge event. It's not obviously an expansion or DLC. It is an event in the game, and it should complement your reset, right? It doesn't necessarily have to take over it, but it should complement it for multiple weeks.
That's kind of the fine line that I think we want out of these events is that it should give you something unique to do, that has some type of unique, rewards that you can earn, even if those are cosmetic stuff, just, there's something, an added layer of like another activity of some kind you can do, and then some extra rewards on top of it, right?
Right. But it's you can still get your other stuff accomplished.
Yeah, it's not so big that it totally takes over the whole time that it's live, right? Or it entwines so well into other activities, like Solstice, that you're doing other things and kind of concurrently completing stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. No, I agree.
So,
and it's I'm a fan of Festival, especially it's very rewarding too, man. Like my first play session on Reset when it launched, we just went and ran all the bounties and stuff, and I had like 4 to 6 Engrams to turn in, the normal and the festivity, the festival Engram. So it's like
and stuff.
Very rewarding. Yeah.
Get a lot of XP.
Yeah. And I've picked up a couple things with my Bright Dust. I had to get that ghost, that eye ghost, because I don't have a exotic ghost that grants me XP across the board. So I had to pick that up, of course.
That's a good one.
But anyways, man, yeah, I jumped in the Haunted Forest. I haven't played enough. I kind of want to maybe revisit it next week. So far, I'm pleased with the Haunted Forest. It's in many ways, I kind of hinted at it last week and hoped that it would be, but in many ways, it's similar to what I really want to see at some point in Destiny, is some sort of like instanced, randomly generated dungeon that we can just go deeper and deeper and deeper into. Of course, this isn't fully that, but man, it's a start, right? Like Destiny's, the way that it's built and the way that at least I enjoy it, I can run around and shoot aliens for hours. And if you give me some sort of progression, like we've gotten in PvP, if you give me some sort of wave-based progression on the PvE side, I'm content, right? I like what they've done with it. Like, I think it's neat. I think it's neat to finally see something with the Infinite Forest a little closer to what we thought it was going to be. And I'm interested to see if they do anything else with this. It's, it's weird to see it in Festival. It's like, they just kind of like, they came up with this idea, throw it in Festival and let's see how they like it. Or is it just hey, this is going to be a Festival thing? But have you played the Haunted Forest much?
A little bit. So there's so much to do. I've been really like prioritizing my time this week because there's full corruption this week, right?
Right.
And
I'll get back to my to-do list here in a minute.
Shattered Throne's up. The meatballs in Gambit, at increased rates. There's all kinds of stuff. So I kind of knew, okay, I definitely need to do this, and this week. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to knock out some of this stuff first, and I'll kind of do the forest when I have time. So I've only done a little bit. Like, really, I did, I got through the quest and everything on the intro stuff on one character. And then I've done like 2 run-throughs, just in general matchmaking. But they were really fun. The first one, I was kind of getting the feel for it, like, okay, what do I need to, like, how do I need to pace myself and what kind of stuff do I need to run? And we got through 6 what do they call them? They're not waves, but like 6
what are they called? Because I commented on that. I wondered why they didn't just call them waves.
We got through level 6, and
it's something with a B. I cannot remember for nothing right now.
So we got that far, and then I started another one, changed some stuff up, changed some guns, kind of got a feel for how it needed to go, and we were progressing a lot quicker. And then some people hit me up that I was wanting to try to get some Gambit with, so I left. But overall, though, it seems like a really fun activity. I've been reading a lot about it, getting different takes from different people. The perks on the mask can make things really interesting and add some stuff. And, there's a decent amount of depth to the activity. As you progress, there's modifiers that start to add on and stack and make it harder and harder.
Right.
There's really crazy things like that one big Ascendant Knight that shows up and just stalks you.
He's immune. Yep.
It's so funny, man. Just the different layers they added that kind of make it like spooky. And the Infinite Forest looks so much cooler at night, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what it is, but it has so much atmosphere. And so it's just
unknown and mystery about it as you're progressing through it.
And then that thing where when you get to the end and the platforms can fall out from under you. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That cracks me up, man. So I think it's a really cool activity, and a bunch of my friends have been grinding it out, to get the weapon and the masks and stuff. And there's a bunch of triumphs for it. And of course I'm going to have to get those. So I'm going to have to grind it out over the next couple of weeks here.
I think I saw on my feed someone posted there's a triumph for completing a certain amount of things on all 3 characters.
Is it really? I saw something for Iron Banner.
Maybe it was Iron. Oh, you know what? You're right. It was Iron Banner. It wasn't Festival. It was Iron Banner. 100%.
Iron Banner.
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't
you have
Festival.
to do maybe all the bounties on all 3 characters or something like that.
That's what it was. Yep.
Which, I don't know, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, dude, but the haunted, I mean, it is cool. Like, overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm a fan of the mass regardless. Like, I just think the event's fun and it's cool, especially with how player friendly it is now, and it's not jokingly immediately not being labeled as festival of the cost. There was definitely some merit to that, but now it's totally different, man, and it's a lot of fun, and having this extra activity to grind through. Again, I mentioned way back, I guess, in my video now, talked about different things we could see hopefully in Destiny 2, and of course a wave-based mode was part of that conversation. I kind of want to revisit that now and talk about this haunted forest, man, because there's so much potential there with a mode like that, dude. I just go back to the things I've thought of and the feedback that we've gotten, and think about like a 50 wave-based mode that resets every week, and it saves a checkpoint every 10 waves, and there's strike bosses in it, and you could so do that here, man. And I've seen some feedback where people have said that it might get kind of boring to them just going in there and grinding that out, but not me, man. Like I could zone out, especially if there was like increased chance of rewards as you progress and different bosses every certain levels. Like I could play that for hours, dude. And this is like we've had the Court of Oryx and all those things and the Blind Well we have now, but like this particular thing, like there's something there, dude, and I hope that's part of the reason they put it in, was to see the response with it, not just for this event. And of course, they're always taking feedback and looking at that and how we enjoy things. But man, there's definitely potential, and you hit on a lot of things with the different layers with it. So I've only played like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 passes through it, somewhere in there. But I'm going to be playing it a lot more. I was jokingly saying about getting back to my to-do list this week. I put at the top of my list for some reason when I initially did, I guess because I was just eager to jump in. Festival was like the first thing I needed to do. And then I've now realized 2 days in that I really probably need to start with my second and third thing, which was I need to grind some Iron Banner, and I need to try and get the Malfeasance quest started. Both of those things are kind of the more important thing for this initial start of the festival resets, because those are obviously on a 1 week rotation, or they'll be gone after this week. So I think I'm going to take a break from festival for the rest of this reset and jump in and get my Iron Banner. It seems like you get those words up every time.
I pretty much plan to do Iron Banner this weekend while it's got the triple valor.
Exactly. Yeah. And, try to go ahead and get those resets on that if you're chasing the broadsword at all, because it climbs like crazy, dude. When it's double and triple, it's ridiculous.
It's a lot. You get a lot, man. I'm waiting for that Gambit. Where's my Gambit double and triple?
Oh, right. I know. Yeah.
Because I gotta, I'm pretty committed to trying to get that Dredgen title this season, but you have to do 3 resets. So I'm on my second. I'm about 3,000 into that, but it's a grind. It's a little bit of a grind.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna grind out my Iron Banner bounties, the rest of those, and then I'm gonna probably jump in Gambit a little bit and just see, with it being full curse week, if I can happen to get that Malfeasance boss to spawn. We'll
Good
see.
luck.
And then I'll rotate back to festival. Yeah, I was gonna ask you. That was have you attempted that?
I've been trying to look at when I can get people to play, but there's so much other stuff to do.
Yeah, and they're just not jumping in there.
A few of my buddies didn't have it, and one of them got it to drop on his 3rd match. And so he's just doing the quest and stuff. So I'm trying, man. I really want to get it. I have the consolation that if it doesn't come up, then like they'll increase the drop rates in a couple weeks. But, the other thing is that if until then, if you can get them to drop more than once, then you can get the other cosmetic items. Right. And those are needed for that title. And they're only going to be a chance at them after they make the change. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping I can just get it all, but we'll see.
I'm hoping. I'm just going to jump in for a few, and just see if I can get lucky and get it to spawn. I've had, with it being full curse week,
a bunch of friends, like they just jump in, for a couple of matches and it popped up right away. So, you just have that luck sometimes.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll report next week. Yeah, I did I had like 4 things on my list, and in there lower was to keep grinding some competitive. But for whatever reason, we got a fire team together and like, let's just jump in. I think it was reset night. Dude, I hit Fabled, man. I wasn't too far off when we went on we went on like a 4 or 5 game streak, and I hit Fabled. So I have that portion of my Luna's Howl journey locked down. You know, there's of course multiple recommendations out there of what order to do that task in, because now that I've hit Fabled but I don't have the quest steps done, I've got to go into some sweaty competitive and try to get hand cannon kills and precision kills and all that stuff. But that's okay. It kind of takes a little bit of weight off, honestly, hitting Fabled and not having to worry about getting to that rank.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, man. Congrats, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
It's not easy.
I've got my Pulse hand cannon loadout that I've been rocking, and I'm trying to just work my way through the Broadsword and Luna's quests, which, dude, what I mentioned earlier, I have like on my Drive account, my Arrow stuff, if you will. I've pulled from the community. The community's so great, dude. And then I have a spreadsheet now, dude, that I made for builds, for like different builds that I want to work on and make in this game. And I love it, dude. I'm totally nerding out in the spreadsheets. So I've got, of course, Mercules, TTK spreadsheet. I've got a spreadsheet for all the mods. And then I've got a spreadsheet for all the role possibilities on each gear, or, helm, gauntlets, chest, like what all can roll on each of those. And I'm just like working through builds. And it's great to have that back, dude. Like, it's so cool to, it stinks when you get those drops and it's not quite the one you wanted, but man, the value that it creates to hunt these builds and stuff like that. Of course, I have like one PvE build that I love that includes an auto rifle. And then I've got like 4 or 5 that I want to make for PvP. Anywhere from sniper hand cannon to you just name it, man. And I'm just, every piece of gear that drops, I'm like looking at it super close before I dismantle it. But I'm just having a blast, dude. I'm back to the spreadsheet nerdiness of the builds. So
I need a spreadsheet, man.
It's good.
I got too much stuff. I'm really having a hard time like cleaning my vaults out, because I'm telling you, I've got like a lot of armor with like a lot. It's got so many different perks that I like on things, and I don't want to cut it loose. And I'm sure a lot of it is like duplicates and things that I don't even realize like they have similar perks. But there's so many perk trees to explore, and like there's power to consider, and recovery and mobility, and just all this stuff. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to manage it all, man. It's
a bit overwhelming. And then I'm sitting here trying to like figure out like exotic synergy and subclass synergy and how you can capitalize, on running, insurmountable with your striker build or this or that. And it's fun, dude. Like the amount of
insurmountable on the new striker is so much fun in PvE. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because you can get just with that. It's weird not having shoulder charge, because I did run that for a little bit, but you can do some damage just with that slam, right? That mini slam.
Yeah.
With
It's pretty fun too to use in PvP if you have a couple guys grouped up and you come down and slam, and they all just kind of like blow back. And they're just like, what's happening? And you just pick them off, with a hand cannon or something. It's really fun.
Yeah.
But in PvE with that skull fort, as long as you get a kill, you get it right back. And so I've started just like play around with.
That's one of my builds, man.
Just running around and slam, and then just kind of run back, get some momentum, try to get back up in the air, slam again.
Yep. And then fun. I'm like, where I got I actually have that exact build in one of them in my spreadsheet, and I can't decide on what mods I want to run with it, because you get your melee back. But if you trade, you don't get your melee back. And so it's like you throw all, because another document that I have thanks to the community is the percentage like time cooldown decrease when you stack these mods. So it's like, okay, do you stack a bunch of melee mods with that? And, you know, if you trade, you get your melee back quicker? Or do you not do that because if you're successful, you get it right back? So
you need
you stack a bunch
that,
of grenade mods?
You need something that's going to give you grenade energy or super energy from melee kills. Obviously, that's a no-brainer, but if I'd have to look at the different mods and pieces of armor available, but if you were able to get some, like Dynamo, obviously,
right,
would be good, or
drop your class ability and super energy. Yeah,
there's a few other different things, but there's some fun builds to be had.
Yeah, no doubt. I've even explored the eventually, I hope to get to it, a Gambit build, man. And I mean, there's mods out there from the raid that are like taking extra taken damage.
Taking mods. I got a couple of those.
Yeah. So there's just so much potential, man. Like there's so much depth back into the game, and it's fantastic. Believe it or not, dude, I actually somehow sprinkled in another game. A bunch of my buddies, we decided we were going to revisit the Call of Duty franchise, and we all picked up Black Ops 4. And Black Ops is always
a lot of good things, man.
Yeah, dude. Black Ops is always one of my favorites, the Treyarch iterations of the game. But we mainly picked it up for the BR mode. I can't remember if I even mentioned on the episode last week that I was thinking about it. But, as much as I want to like support the small guy BR companies, PUBG and all them, I mean, I've purchased their games. We were just really looking forward to see what a AAA, dev company could do with a Battle Royale mode. And I gotta say, dude, while it's not, I mean, it's basically PUBG. There's not a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot new. It is a blast, man. Like it is. I'm more of a Modern Warfare kind of guy. Fortnite's fun. I did enjoy it. I had a little stint there where I was playing it, but I love Modern Warfare settings, and the weapons and things like that. And then I do really enjoy BR. This BR mode stuff, and it's fun, dude. Like I wouldn't mind having a third person option, not obviously in the same playlist, but a separate lobby that you could queue into third person like you can in PUBG. But we're having a good time, man. Like it's fun. You get your squad together and you just go out and play some BR. There is I haven't played it yet, but my buddies have dived into this mode, this heist mode that's also in the just the normal multiplayer, and it's a lot like Counter-Strike, where you start with a pistol and you see how well you do each round, and you get currency that you can buy weapons for the next round. So very much like Counter-Strike. But dude, I mean, it's kind of cool to see people liking and enjoying Call of Duty. I gotta say, all I've played so far is the BR mode, but I definitely approve. We're having a good time with it. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited to try the zombies.
Yes,
especially
I've heard
because
there's a lot of layers to that.
They pioneered and created that mode, but I heard really great things about it. The maps look really cool, and one of them is a return to my favorite Call of Duty map, zombies map, which was Mob of the Dead.
Okay.
And it's like some kind of continuation or whatever of that setting and stuff. So I really want to pick it up and try.
One of them
set
on the Titanic too, I think, which is
cool.
Cool.
There's a Titanic one, and then there's a arena, like a Aztec arena or something, something crazy like that back in time. So yeah, it looks really good, man. I've heard just a lot of really positive reception from people I know that play it, and reviews online and different outlets and stuff. So good for them. I mean, they kind of needed a comeback with that franchise. It's been a bit stale for a little while. So seems like,
of course, there's no single player with this one, but man, is there plenty to do. I mean, there's those 3 different areas of the game that are all pretty fleshed out.
And I think there's even almost a pseudo campaign for the zombies.
Yep.
Which seems really cool. So yeah, I'm going to pick it up at some point. I might wait till maybe the holidays. I don't know, but I'll grab it.
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy the BR mode. The thing for me about the BR games, and I may have mentioned this before, but I'm always looking for something to be able to balance with Destiny, because of course Destiny is my investment game, and I'm not, I sprinkle stuff in here and there. It's a lot of times easier to do on the Switch. But it's usually either a single player game or what I've learned is the Battle Royale games, because there's not much investment there. You can just jump on with your buddies, play 3 or 4 matches, and then jump right back out and throw Destiny in,
Yeah, it's more bite size. It's more manageable. Right.
And it's great. There's not like I'm not missing out if I'm not putting hours and hours into the game.
I think that's part of why that genre, A, is popular, and B, why it has room to thrive in a gaming culture where there's tons of FPSs and multiplayer, and there's a lot of options, but the genre works because you can just get in and do some matches late at night, or just go one, and you can do it by yourself, you can do it with your friends and still have fun. You can play lots of different ones and still have a great time because it's the same type of modes, so it's interesting how it's, as a genre, kind of developing and fitting in kind of well into
everything else,
right? Yeah, it's interesting. So it's a lot of fun.
I am enjoying it, man.
Yeah. Well, I've been up to all kinds of stuff in Destiny this week, man. I
was going to say, what was your priority list?
Sleep has not been a priority, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Just trying to get in everything I wanted to do. So one of the biggest things was we really wanted to go back into the Shattered Throne this week. Because we did not conquer that 3 weeks ago. And so we went in, finished the quest for Wish Ender. Got that bow and finished the Shattered Throne. So we were pretty happy about that. Knocked that out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's a lot more doable when you're like 590 plus than when you're like 570s.
Yeah.
Or 560 or whatever.
It may be the next rotation before I am able to attempt it.
It's fun. It's really like a 3-man raid. It's really big. There's a lot to chew up there, and it's challenging, and it's really cool, man. I've just been thinking this week, just how impressed I am by the amount of work they've put into all the content in this expansion, and we've got
it's unreal, man. We've
got the Festival of the Lost thrown at us this week, and I'm just looking at this whole different new activity that they put a lot of thought into. I'm just like, how did they get all this done in the past year?
They have been working.
They have been working hard, man.
And
so I got to give them props for just the amount of stuff they're throwing at us right now is impressive. And it's all really good, high quality content. So, so I got that done. Did some Dreaming City stuff, of course. Pretty cool little Easter egg in the Dreaming City this week. If you get your offering to the Oracle from the Blind Well bounty, and then you go to do your offering to the Oracle, and this is the week that you get to go visit Mara. If you missed that last time, but if you go in this week, she's got a little projection up of some familiar triangular shaped
things,
ships that you might have seen before.
So cool, dude. Yeah, you were talking about all the content just a second ago, but yeah, how cool is it all the way down to like rotating new dialogue we're getting from Mara Sov every 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, all the characters and NPCs have different things to say.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Another thing I was like totally took me off guard was at the end of the if you do the mission for this week, at the end, Petra's talking and she says, "Okay, send me that data. We're gonna run it through Rasputin and cross-check it with blah, blah." I'm like, wait, what? You're talking to Rasputin now? Like, whoa. And, in context, like, it makes sense. At the end of Warmind, Rasputin is basically like, you want to use me like a tool, but I'm not a tool to be used. I'm going to protect the solar system, and he wants to be considered his own entity and faction. He's not a tool to be used, but it's not outright stated, but it's you almost have to understand at that point like Rasputin is available now to us. He's not hiding or like kind of reclusive anymore. He's basically come out in the open, and because of Anna Bray, you know, we can commute, like we could say, hey, Rasputin, like, we need some help. What do you think about this? Right.
Right. Yep.
I mean, it's up to him if he wants to help or check it out, but apparently that's a thing now. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of develop. And I was just reading different posts on Spinfoil had stuff out in the Destiny universe this week, and they're talking about, you know, here's a list of all the big enemies we haven't faced yet, and then here's some of our allies, and we have a lot of pretty significant allies in the solar system now between Rasputin, Mara and the Awoken. We've got kind of an ally in Callus with his enormous world-eating ship and crazy darkness powers or whatever he's got going on. So things are kind of evolving in the Destiny universe. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've thought on a couple different occasions, I don't know how the lore guys are keeping, those lore guardians out there are keeping up.
There's
now.
a lot, man. There's a lot to keep up with.
Much. And then to play at the same time, get this stuff unlocked. Yeah.
Speaking of lore, there's finally now there's a book that has not, it was, you know, if you looked in your triumphs for the lore, it's been question marked, for lack of a better term, recently. Now, it was data mined, and you could read it, or what we thought was most of it. I don't even know if you could see all of it, but it was called Truth to Power, and it's had everybody going nuts because it's some of the most weird, interesting lore we've ever been fed, and definitely of this expansion. But nobody knew how we were going to access it and when. But the first entry pops up when you talk to Mara, and she gives you the chest, and that piece of lore is received when you open that chest. So that's kind of a big deal in the lore scheme right now, and kind of opening up that story. It's really interesting stuff. So much. So that's all going on. We got a raid knocked out. Got a couple of my buddies who hadn't finished it yet through last night.
So you have completed it. Was that this reset you beat it for the first time, or last reset?
No, we beat it. Now I can't remember. It was either a week or 2 weeks ago I finished it for the first. I don't think I mentioned last week that I had finished it, but I had.
Very cool.
Nice. But yeah, we're clearing it now, and so we got a couple players through for their first clear, and oh man, I got the curated role on Nation of Beasts.
Oh, nice, dude.
And it is literally Fatebringer, and it's so awesome. It's so very good. Cool. And I also got the curated scout rifle, which I can't remember the name of it. I think it starts with an A. Maybe I have to think about it. I haven't tried that one out yet. So yeah, we did that, and you know, we're having a really good time playing the raid. It's a fun raid, man. It really is. It's a pretty cool experience. And then we're starting to look through the Dreaming City for all the corrupted eggs.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That we can pop with Wishender.
Ascendant challenges and stuff too.
Yep. Doing Ascendant challenges, doing all the different stuff, man. Just trying to get triumphs and stuff as I go, and keep up with that is a lot. So that was a lot of what I've done the past few days. And then earlier tonight, I just got in some Gambit, got a little bit of the Festival of Lost stuff in. Got plans this weekend, basically just to mainline Gambit and Iron Banner.
Iron Banner. Yeah. I'm probably going to put Iron Banner on the top of the list now. I've got in a few games. I will say I'm running solo, and I don't think I've won a game yet. It's probably like 3 or 4 games, but I have gotten Iron Banner loot as an in-game reward on. I think
they get those post-game reward drops now.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Like we mentioned last week, we kind of got mixed feedback from the listeners in the community on how that was going on the last Iron Banner. But dude, I've only played like 3 or 4 games, but like I said, I think I've gotten 3, possibly 4 a drop every single game.
That's good.
even losing post game. So that's awesome, dude. And then, you throw random rolls back on the top of that. Not to mention that he's got some fantastic rolls on the pulse and the sniper period. But you throw some random rolls in that, and like I'm pumped to go back to my postmaster because my inventory is just like full to the brim right now.
That's I have fun, a big inventory problem right now.
Yeah.
And I looked and I have like 80 shaders in my vault. I'm like, all right, this mess, I have to go. But there's, stacks of shaders, right? So I got some time to put in to clean my vault out, man. But
yeah, I went through this week and I got through I went through everything and probably dismantled like 40 to 50 things. I could, there's always, you could keep going back through it and get more and more strict. But dude, we were talking about mod components last week. We'll mention that here shortly, but I only ended up with I got enough to buy one mod after going through my vault and cleaning stuff up. But I did that too. So I don't know, man. There is absolutely no doubt that we are back at the hobbyist level of playing this game, like straight up. And
I have no end of stuff to do, and I don't see an end in sight. I'm really looking hard. I'm like, by the time I feel like I've made some progress, Black Armory is going to drop.
It's like I'm skeptical to say it, but at times I have considered like it is almost too much because I'm not. We'll see in like a month, but I'm not even close to being able to like work on and experience different builds that I want to experience in PvP. And before I know it, dude, before we know it, we're going to be talking about Black Armory being right around the corner, Yeah. And granted, that's not going to be a Forsaken sized release. So, we should be able to continue things we're working on while also playing that. But, Festival is an example, man. Like I want to go spend some time in there too. So I won't dare say we have too much to do. But it definitely is a lot. There's a lot to do right now. So
no doubt.
It's good times.
Well,
good times.
There's lots of stuff to play. I'm kind of expecting about a month from now or so, we'll have a little bit of downtime where you can relax a little bit and play a little more freely and not feel pressure to have to get one thing done after another. But, like you said, we're going to have Black Armory come and that'll show up. The good news, though, is, it's a smaller size expansion. And so we won't have a Forsaken sized heap of content to chew on. It'll be some stuff to do, but we'll have time to just kind of relax in the game a little more.
Well, I'm even hoping at some point to get in the raid, but like priority for me right now is getting that Luna's Howl. So again, I'm not even thinking about the raid right now, and I do want to jump in there at some point. So tons of stuff, man.
You'll get there.
And we also had the Dirt Fan meetup this past weekend. So, that was a good time. We had an old school meetup, Dirt Fan Midwest meetup and LAN party in Sedalia, Missouri. Shout out to all you Guardians and Dirt Fan members. We had a blast. Shout out to Ori Scorio for hosting it once again, third year. But we had a good time, dude. It was a lot of fun, video games and food, and look forward to doing it next year. We're hoping to get the word out there a little sooner next year, maybe get some more Guardians that are able to join us. But anyways, it was a good time.
Yeah, good. Well, how about some Dirt Fam discourse?
Yeah, dude. Yep.
This is part of the show where you, the listener, get to send us your thoughts on what we talk about what's going on in the Destiny universe. Ask us questions, send us responses, you name it. We've got an email from Quentin. You want to read it?
Yeah, I would love to. We've been sitting on this one for just a little bit because, it's more relevant as Black Armory gets closer. He says, weapon types and weapon variants. Now that we know Black Armory is the first add-on in the annual pass, and with a brief sneak peek of what will be in the Black Armory, do you think Bungie would be adding new weapon types like they did at the beginning of Destiny 2 with the SMG and the grenade launchers? Or would they add new weapon variants like the new 2-round burst hand cannon Warden's Fall What do you predict would be a new weapon type in the Black Armory? Personally, I would like to see heavy hand cannons as a new power weapon, or maybe even an introduction to dual weapon variants such as sidearms or SMGs. Bungie has been doing a good job weapon-wise, but I do want to see something a bit more different again. Like Steve Cotton said, we want to make Destiny weird again, and having new weapon types / weapon variants would definitely make Destiny 2 weird again. Can't wait for the next reset episode. You guys are awesome. Well, thanks so much, Quentin. That's a good topic and good question. I thought it was funny he brought up Steve Cotton's quote, because you honed in on that quote too when they were leading up to releasing Forsaken.
It's my favorite quote right now, man.
Make Destiny weird again.
Destiny weird again. That's a great question. We know for sure that heavy machine guns are coming with Black Armory, so I think that that's going to be a big focal point, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility of something else new. Even if it was perhaps just an exotic, in something that we haven't seen, or I don't know, man. I mean, I have lots of things in the back of my mind. Like I'd like to see, dual wielding, I think would be super interesting.
That would be cool.
I'd love to see like a spear or something that you can just shank people with. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff,
Well, there's major rumblings in the community right now too. Nothing confirmed. Fast forward 15 seconds if you don't want to know, but I'll just say there's rumblings of us seeing a heavy weapon before Black Armory.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's confirmed that we are getting them back in due time. But we might see something.
Well, and the other word on the street is that we may see a new weapon rarity.
Yeah,
with
right.
Black Armory.
Mm-hmm. There's been a couple.
I don't know. I mean, it's totally a possibility. That would be a big shakeup, and I'm fascinated to what that could mean. What are they gonna? What are the restrictions going to be, or what is a black? If it was called a black rarity weapon,
that's a speculation.
What would that? I don't know. What's different about it? Is it above exotic? Is it mega super rare?
Throws off our weapon economy, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's always like a trade-off or a restriction you've got to deal with if you're gonna run something just crazy, So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, this add-on is obviously heavy on the weapons in your arsenal, Black Armory, right? So if they're ever going to do it, throw some of this stuff in here like Quentin's mentioning, I mean, that would definitely be the time. So again, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what it would be. I mean, trying to think of something that I would like to see. There's just, who knows?
I've heard a couple of my buddies mention heavy hand cannons lately would be interesting.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. Just a big old hand cannon, I mean, just one shot somebody in the head.
That would be pretty funny.
Super obnoxious. Reminds me of, you get 2 rounds,
Didn't the Joker in the original Batman have like this long barreled? Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah. But dude, I don't know. We'll see. It's exciting. Of course, we've also had little hints and data mining leaks of some stuff we might see again. So I think Black Armory is going to be. I think it's going to be neat, man. Especially. Yeah. I mean, like we've already talked about in this episode multiple times, everything we've got up to this point, everything there is to do, all the content we're seeing, the different weapons, like I think they'll deliver. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the thing I'd be most interested to see is like just weird stuff. Like the stuff that I get into the most in Destiny as far as weapons is the really exotic, strange alien type weapons,
you always get into those, the high
think about like
stuff, and I'm
exotics.
all about like the sleek.
The raid exotics would always like just give me the most joy. So just weird things like give me a grenade launcher that like shoots liquid fire or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just some crazy stuff. Give me a hive boomer gun. I don't know.
Speaking of, I guess you didn't get your 1,000.
I do not have 1,000 voices yet. No.
Okay. I keep getting. Let us know when you get it, man.
Helmet drops and arm drops over and over. It's driving me crazy.
We would really have a Destiny 1 experience if
oh man,
you keep running it and running it and running it and you don't
Dude.
get it, and then I finally get in there and I get it on my first run.
Yeah, I mean, the raid RNG is a lot like Vaulted Glass, to be honest.
Old school.
Like, you know, it's different for every. I feel like they kind of tweak it in every raid how the items drop. You know, if you go back to like Rise of Iron, it's probably the most generous. I mean, you'd get a ton of stuff. You had ways to get extra, you know, drops. I think there was even like knockout system of some kind. I don't remember, but I remember it being super generous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the way other extreme is, you know, Vaulted Glass, where there was a ton of good guns and you never get them, you know. You know, same thing with the armor. And it seems like in this raid, it's pretty tough RNG. I get a lot of duplicates. It's taken me a bunch of runs to get even one copy of some of the guns. So yeah, it's definitely more punishing, but you know, it gives you something to chase, right?
Right.
Doing it over and over has some value. I don't have a full set of armor yet on any character. I don't have a full set of the guns, and
I feel like Guardians might be a little less quick to complain on that.
Sure.
You know, at this state of the game, you know, it's kind of fun to have stuff to chase, at least in different areas. So.
Yeah. And then you've got the random rolls on this stuff. So duplicates aren't necessarily a terrible thing, because you might get a better roll on a piece of armor or a gun that you like, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, cool, man.
Well, great question, Quentin. I appreciate the email, man. If you want to give us some discourse, you can send us an email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, or a speakpipe at speakpipe.com/destinyreset.
Yes, definitely do so, guys. Plenty to talk about right now, that's for sure. I did want to mention a couple different things we talked about, just to throw it out there. I sent out a poll asking Guardians if they would like to be able to re-roll their Masterwork stat on their weapons, not their perks, just their Masterwork stat. I feel like I kind of threw out there, you know, re-rolling kind of broke the game. We don't really want that back, but being, you know, it was fun. So being able to do it maybe just on that Masterwork stat would be kind of cool. And 130 votes, 82% said they would like to see that. 18% said they're good with the way it is. So that was interesting. Now, I threw up another one after we talked last week, dude, about Masterwork cores and mod components, because we kind of talked for a while last night about mod components being the real struggle right now. And I just threw up, I didn't even give like both as an option. I just said, which are you having more difficulty acquiring right now? Masterwork cores or mod components? And surprisingly, dude, almost 300 votes.
I was very
48%
surprised.
Masterwork cores and 52 mod components. So 48 to 52, dude. It, like for a while, it was very much mod components, and then it started to even out over the 7-day deadline that I put on that poll. I can't believe.
I'm willing to bet that is gonna tip in like a month.
Yeah.
Once people. Because I think right now, as people are still powering up, they're not as concerned with optimization, right?
Right.
And when you're powering up, you need a lot more cores to infuse stuff to get, you know, the gun that you want, or to masterwork things to make it a better gun. But once people have a lot more gear at a higher level and they're starting to optimize stuff, they're going to want mods. And they're not going to have the components
to do it. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. You know, I don't have a lot of Masterwork cores at this point. I'm kind of infusing. I'm in the 560s now, almost mid 560s, just kind of gradually power leveling and also, you know, squeezing in Crucible here and there. And I've went from like 40 Masterwork cores down to like 10 now. I visit Spider every chance I get each day, if I get on. And I've just been able to, even infusing here and there, man. Like I've infused a decent amount of times. I'm keeping Masterwork cores, but like I mentioned, dude, I broke down 40 to 50 things in my vault and got enough components to buy one mod component, and that's the only one that I've
What
bought.
did you buy?
And, like,
did you buy Icarus or something?
I think I bought. I think I'm still sitting on 2 Icarus from weeks ago. I think I bought another
Paragon
target adjuster.
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Yeah, those
I think
are
is
good
what
to
I
have.
bought.
Yeah. Or counterbalance.
So,
those are good.
Yeah. So, it's like I bought 1 in 2 weeks, and you're getting master. I think you even doesn't some of the Festival of Lost stuff reward you masterwork cores? They kind of squeeze that in there too. I think
I think maybe the weekly
bounty
drops
does,
you
right?
7 or something. I heard.
Yeah,
I might be wrong on that.
So that was kind of nice of them to ninja that in there and give us some masterwork cores. But dude, I don't know how these Guardians are keeping their masterwork cores. Please tweet at us, guys, or excuse me, mod components. Let me know how you're doing it. I just can't get any, dude. I cannot. I don't know. I know there's a way you can go farm planetary vendors.
Yeah.
With planetary mats and get their gear and break it down, and it's pretty high chance you're going to get a mod component. So I may have to do that.
Mercury is a good place to do that for cores and for mod components.
Okay. I'm going to have to do it, I guess, dude, because I'm getting to the point, like I've mentioned, that I'm wanting to do these builds and stuff, and if I'm not completely modded out, then I'm not maximizing the build, right?
Yeah.
So it just, I need them.
I hear you.
So, well, there you go. Some fun random stats there on some polls this week.
All right. Well, I don't think do we have any new patrons this week? I don't think we do.
No, we've got some pending patron. Check your messages, guys.
Yeah, check your messages in Patreon if you can, so we can give you a shout out on the show. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset, and for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. If you do, you get a shout out on the podcast, you get your gamer tag posted on our website, and you get an invitation to a Discord channel just for Dirt Fan patrons and supporters. As always, we thank our continued patrons who month after month give out of their hard-earned dollars. It means so much to me and Arrow that you make things a little easier for us to put this out week after week, right?
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much.
Very much appreciate it.
And I mentioned our Discord. We forget sometimes, but if you're not familiar with Discord, it's an online chat app. You can access it on the web, on your PC, Mac, on your phone, pretty much anywhere. It's very popular in the gaming communities. And we are partnered with Discord. We have our own server. You can join by going to discord.gg/Destiny Reset. There's like close to 2,000 Guardians in the server, and always plenty online to talk to. We've got channels to
chatting all day.
Yeah, find people to talk with, talk about Destiny, talk about Crucible, Gambit, other games, you name it. So if you're looking for a community to hang out, find some awesome people, come join our Discord.
Do it, Guardians.
All right,
prepare
man.
to be welcomed if you do so.
Yep. It's about that time.
It is, dude.
We gotta let the people go.
Another episode
in the can. Where can people find you?
You guys can find me on all the things: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, at AER0KNIGHT with a 0. What about you, dude?
Awesome. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Mixer. And finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter or on the web, DestinyResetPodcast.com. That's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice if you choose. Link to YouTube if you want to watch us there. Just all the links, all the things. Go check it out.
All the things.
Thank you if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts. I think we have a new review this week.
Yes, yeah, we got a couple this week. We got to give a shout out to Georgior Binks, 1357. Love that name. Thank you so much for the review too. I believe they were new to Destiny and found our podcast, so that's so cool to hear.
Awesome.
And then we got to give a shout out to Flag 1976. We also, this is probably one of the most unique reviews that we have gotten, but part of this review we had to read aloud to you listeners in the community. I'm laughing as I'm reading it. As I write this review, are you ready for this, Cyborg? I know you read
I read
this
it.
already.
Yeah, you go ahead.
As I write this review, I challenge myself to think of even one complaint, and the only flaw is that I cannot find a flaw, and that scares me that these two men were created by a lab, by supreme beings, to start here but eventually take over the universe. When that day comes, guys, don't forget Flag 1976 is with you. That's probably one of our best. I mean, we love all the reviews. We appreciate them all.
I appreciate your moral support.
But no,
we don't think that highly of ourselves, however.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. But that was quite entertaining to read at work, I will say.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for the reviews. It's I think we mentioned it maybe even last week. It's so cool to even get a review, to even know that you guys are listening. And then on top of that, you guys tell us it's your go-to Destiny podcast, or just that you're enjoying it. Even if you got some constructive criticism, we very much appreciate any feedback and the support. So it's very much appreciated.
Yep. All right, bud. Well, get some sleep, all right?
Yeah, it's late as usual. Plenty to do, though. I think I might play a little bit.
Good. Don't get some sleep.
Are you gonna keep not sleeping?
You know I will.
All right, guys. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.